So in today's video, I'll be walking you through the step-by-step process of web development. Okay, so in this video we're going to develop a very simple school website. The project is actually an assignment. So before we start, I would love to share the assignment file with you for you to see what we will be working on. Okay, so it is the assignment that is going to guide us through the development process. You can see the assignments have some instructions. These are the step-by-step instructions that I was asked to follow, okay, to get this done. Now the first step is actually I was asked to select a project that I know that I thoroughly enjoy. Okay, the project could be website development or app development or database creation. Okay, so these are actually projects that I love working on, but based on the instructions that was given to this, I need to, I think I was asked to just pick one. So I'll be going with the first option, which is building a website. Okay, so also the instruction number 2 says I should use Loom, to do the video recording, but then I have the liberty of also using any kind of recording software, which in this video I'm currently using the Camtasia software. Okay, so these are the other instructions that is the third one, which is talking about the content of the video. I should begin with brief introduction of the whole project. Okay, so the fourth one, which says what the length of the video should be between 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, then so without wasting time, let's jump into the project. So I was able to work on a prototype. So I actually used, let's check out the prototype. I actually used Micromedia Fireworks to design a very simple school web page, as you can see on my screen. So it's just a very simple page I'm going to use for the prototype. I took out time to design this on this Micromedia Fireworks. So of course, with the design, you can check out to see. So the top has the navigation menu, which contains the logo and the nav items. Then right before under it we have image slider. Then under the image slider, this image slider is going to hold different images with hero text. Okay, so under it we have a content area, then and a sidebar, anyhow you put it. Then the last section here is the footer section. Okay, of course every web page you see online have what is called a footer. That is where the copyright info is and the credits. Okay, so this is a prototype of the design that I'm going to be doing, using the basics HTML and CSS. Okay, so without wasting time, let's hit the desktop. So every project, be it any kind of website you want to create, the first thing to do is actually to create a folder where you're going to be saving all the website content or website files. If you also be using some medias like pictures or videos, those media files are expected to be in that folder, the complete project folder. Okay, so in my own case, I've created a folder called NSP Staff School. Of course, that is the name of the school that will be developing this site for. Okay, now there are some, let me open the folder to see the content. So at the moment you can see that the folder is empty. Okay, so it is in this folder that I will be saving all our project files. Okay, so let me quickly close this. So I need to okay, I forgot to tell you the IDE that we'll be using for this project is Sublime Text. The two things we need is actually an IDE and a web browser. So this IDE that we'll be using is Sublime Text. So I'm going to just open Sublime Text. I have it on my taskbar, so I'll just double click on it to open. Okay, so while the Sublime text is trying to come up, let's see. I have already prepared some pictures that we will be using for this project. So we can see these are the images that we will be using for that image slider, and also the logo that I will be using for the project. So I have a separate folder on the desktop where the pictures are. You can see pictures. Then this is the project folder. All right, so the Sublime text has finally opened. So this is just a previous work that I was working, the previous work that I was doing on the Sublime text. So I need to just go to file. I need to bring in the folder, the project folder that I'll be working on, to Sublime text. So to do that, I'll quickly click on file, then select open folder. Then let's see. Okay, so I need to navigate to desktop to select that particular folder. Okay, so I'll click on desktop. Then the name of the folder is NSP Staff School. Then I'll just click on select folder to bring in that folder to my Sublime text. So I need to close the other IDE that was open. Now it's time to start coding. Now, of course, every web page starts with I need to save this file. I'm going to save this. Since this is going to be my first file, I'm going to save it with index.html. Of course, that signifies that that page will be the first page whenever a user opens the project. Okay, so I need to navigate to the folder, to the exact folder. So the name of the folder is NSP Staff School. So here I need to just give it the name. So I'm going to just type index.html. Okay, so I'll click on save. Now it's time to start coding. Of course, every web page you see online has starts with the HTML tag. So the first tag you're seeing here, let me zoom in, let me zoom out so you see. Alright, so line 1 is just telling you about the version of the HTML that we're using, which is HTML version 5. So line 2, of course, the HTML tag is all the content of the website is surrounded with the opening HTML tag and the closing HTML tag. Okay, now for the head, this is a tag called head. This head tag holds the title of our web page, so I need to just give it a very nice title. So I'll give it NSP Staff School. So this will be the title of my page. Now let's quickly create the CSS. Let's quickly link the CSS file that we will be creating, style.css. I would love to give it this name. So of course, relationship is style sheet, the type is text/css, then hyperreference. Of course, this is the file that we're linking to the index file. Okay, so now everything that you see on a website is actually in between the opening body and the closing body. Okay, so from our, let me just press Ctrl S. So from our design, let's check out our prototype. So from our design, the first thing we're seeing here is actually the navigation menu, where we have logo and the navigation item. So now I need to just take care of this. To do that, let me go to my page. Now I just need to open it. I'm going to open a tag called nav. This is the navigation. Now, and this nav, I'm going to give it a class of navbar. Let me give it a class of navbar. So in this navbar, we're going to have we're going to have a division. I'm going to have two divs. The first div is going to hold the logo, then the second div is going to hold our nav item. So here I'll give it a class and I'll name it logo. This is going to hold our logo. So for the meantime, let me just give it a text. I'm going to use text to represent the logo since I don't have logo at the moment. So the next div, that is the second div, this is going to hold our nav items, that the home, about, gallery, and contact. So here I'm just going to give it a class, and I'll name it nav. Let me name it nav menu. Okay, this is where our nav menus will be. Now I need to open the UL tag, the on order list, to create the links, that is to create the nav items. So in the on order list I have li, that is list items. Now since they are going to be hyperlinked, so I need to create an anchor tag, and I'll just give it an hash. I'll use hash symbols to just instruct it not to go to anywhere. Whenever the user clicks on the link, it should remain on the same page. So the first link that we have there is the home, as you can see from our design, from our prototype. So this is what I'm actually creating at the moment. We have the home, about, contact, and gallery, right? So let's quickly do that. So to make things easy, I don't need to retype this. I don't need to retype this. I need to just copy and paste. So I'm going to have the home. I already have the home, so this is going to be about. The next one is going to be contact. The third one is going to be gallery. So if there is any menu that you want to add, this is where you add them up. Okay, so you can easily save this. Now the development process that we are actually using here is purely HTML and CSS. So there is no bootstrap, everything is pure. Okay, all our styling is going to be just HTML and CSS. All right, so so we've created our nav items. So next, from our prototype, what do we have? Let's check them. Let's check it out. Let's check out this. So we have logo, we have nav items. Of course, we're going to use CSS to style this. Now the next stuff we have here is the image slider. Okay, so I'm going to create a division. I'm going to create a section for that nav bar, sorry, for the image slider. So it's going to be right below the nav items in the nav bar. So I'm going to use a div to create a division here. So this div is actually going to be let's say this is what will hold the slider images. So I'm going to just name it, I'll give it a class. I'll give it a class of slider. Yeah, let's give it a class of slider. So for the meantime, let's give it a text just to identify the area of the slider. Okay, so let's check out the design again. After this image slider, next is we're going to have content area, and as you can see, it's going to be two columns, one column for the content area and the second column for the sidebar. So to do this, I need to create since it's purely HTML and CSS, I'm going to create another. Let's create we can either use section, or I can still maintain div, which in this case I'm going to maintain div. Now this div I'm going to give it a class of let's say container. Container is going to hold the two divs that we have there. This first div is going to be for the content area, so I'll give it a class and I'll call it content area. I can shorten it, but then let's just give it full. So here is going to be content area. Then the second div, we're going to give it a class of let's say aside or sidebar. Anyhow you want to give it, you can actually assign any class to it. So let's say aside. I'm going to maintain aside. So here let's give it some text. So here is going to be content area. Then the second one, which is aside, we're going to just give it sidebar. Let's say sidebar. All right, so I think the last stuff we have there is going to be footer. So let's create a footer for it, and the footer is going to be in paragraph. So I'm just going to type copyright. Then to get that copyright symbol, is going to be ampersand copy, then you end it with semicolon. So we can just give it a year, so 2014. I'll add up a pipe symbol and I'll give it something like, let's see, all rights, let's see, reserved. Okay, something like this. So I think this is the HTML. This is the HTML. So let me save and let's see what we have at the moment. So if I double click on this to open up, let's see the complete project. Let's see what we've done so far. Okay, so this is what we've done so far. This is of course the CSS has not been added, so that is the reason why we just have the contents. Now let's work on the CSS to beautify our web page. Okay, so since we've linked up the CSS, of course we're going to use external CSS. So I've linked up, and the main goal of using this external CSS is just to make work easy for us, because a website, we can start it small, but then if time comes for us to do upgrade or to add up features to the website, to add up more pages to the website, it's going to be tedious if your styling is not externally. It means you have to go through each page to make changes. If there is any change that you need to take, if that you need to make on every page, it means you have to follow those pages one after the other. But the beauty of external styling is just for you to make it, you're going to make a change on that style sheet and it's going to take effect on all the pages. Okay, so it's going to reduce your work. All right, so it's actually a good practice to use external styling. Okay, now having said that, let's quickly create the file that we've linked, which is going to be style.css. So I'm just going to press Ctrl N on my keyboard and I'll press Ctrl S. Ctrl N is to create a new file, then Ctrl S is to quickly save it. So I'm going to give the name style.css. okay, style.css, the extension is CSS, then if it is HTML, it's going to be .html. Alright, so they need to be on the same file, which is NSP Staff School. So I'll just click on save. So notice that the name that we used here, style.css, was the same name that we used to save the file. Okay, so let's start styling. Now the first style I'm going to give here is on the body. So the property, I'll call up the property, the body property. So here I'm going to give this is the selector. Body here is the selector. Then I have curly brace. Inside the curly brace, I'm going to have properties. All right, so the first thing I'm going to give it is I'll give it padding of 0 to clear out the extra paddings that comes by default. So of course the margin also I'm going to maintain 0. Okay, padding 0, margin 0. Okay, so to ensure that this linking is actually successful, let's give it a background color of red to see if it actually changes. When it does, that shows that the style and the style sheet and the page was successfully linked. You can see the results is okay, so it means we can continue. So let me clear this, since it was just to test for the connectivity. Now the first thing to work on here is actually the nav bar. So nav bar, the class we gave it here is what? Nav bar. So I need to call it on my CSS file, in my CSS file. So just to call a class, you initiate it with period or full stop, then you type the name of that particular class. So in my own case, the first listing is navbar, the class is navbar. So I'm going to give it a width. Let's give it a width of 100% to occupy the complete width. Then I'll give it a height of, let's see 100 pixels. 100 pixels. Then let's see, we have navbar. We'll give it a background color of, let's see, green. Background color of green. Yeah, I think this is okay. So let's check out this again. All right, so this is for the navbar. Then the navbar is what is holding the logo and the nav items, right? So this first div there is logo, so I'm going to call on this div. So I'll call it logo. Then this logo, I'll assign a width to it. Now we want to actually, if you check out our design, let's check this design out. If you check out our nav menu, you notice that the logo is just occupying a small area compared to the width. Of course is 100%. Then the logo is like taking just, let's say, 10% to 20%, okay, while the nav items, home, about, contact and gallery is taking like 80%. So this is where we're going to do a little bit we're going to work on the mathematical, we're going to calculate this to get the exact figure that we need to use. So the width, I'm going to give it something like 20%. Then I'm going to float it to left, since the logo is going to be by the left hand side. Then the second div, which is nav menu is the width of this. Since from 100 we've taken 100% for the logo, so it means the remaining one is going to be 80, so I'll give it 80%. Then the height, then I'm going to float this to right. I'll float this to right. Alright, so I think this is cool. Now let's view what we have at the moment. Let's refresh to see what we have at the moment. Yes, you can see that the logo has moved to the left hand side, then the nav items have moved to the right hand side. Now let's add up our logo to actually see how this is. Now let's go to pictures, and this is the logo that we will be using. So I'll copy this logo and I'll take it to our project folder, NSP Staff School. Then I'll drop it here. So the name of the logo is actually logo, and the type of this file is PNG. So I'm just going to replace that text. I'll replace that text with the logo. This is it. So I'm going to open an img tag. Then the source, of course, is going to be logo. The name of the logo dot the file extension, which is PNG. So let's go back. I need to call this logo. First of all, let's check it out to see if it actually comes up. So you can see the logo has appeared. Now we need to give it the height and width to control the size of the logo. So I'll do that here. I'm going to do that here. So it's going to be logo. I'll call the class logo. Then there is an img file. So I'll give it a width of, let's say, 95 pixels. I'll give it 95 pixels. I'll give it a height of same 95 pixels. So I'll give it a border radius. Border radius is just to make it round. Border radius of, let's say, 50% to make it round. Okay, so let's save and check this out to see what we've done so far. Alright, so we can see this is how the logo is looking. It's coming up gradually. Okay, now let's see, we can actually give it something like margin left. I'll give it something like margin left. Let's see, 10 pixels, just to give it space by the left hand side. 10 pixels. Then let's work on the nav items. This home, about, contacts and gallery. Let's work on them. Okay, so since they are on other list items, I need to just call the nav menu, then ULLI. I'm just telling the system to go to in the index file there is a class called nav menu. Then in this class there is a tag called UL. Inside this UL there is another tag called LI, that is the list items, and this is where I want this effect to take place. So I'll just open the curly brace and give it the properties that I want. So firstly, what I want them to do is I want to remove those bulletins that are there. So I'll just click on list style. I'll give it list style. I'll just say none. Then I'll increase the font size. Font size, I'm going to make it something like 25 pixels. Then font family, I'm going to give it something like sans serif. I can give it Tahoma or any kind of font family that I want to use. Okay, so this is where we actually make the changes. So list style is font size 25, then font family sans serif. Now let's give it something like display. Display is going to be inline. Now the reason why we're changing the display to inline is because by default they appear on top of each other. Now we want this navigation menu to be in horizontal line, like they shouldn't be on top of each other like this. Just the way we're seeing them, we want them to align, you know, horizontally. So if I refresh this now, notice that they have removed, the bulletins have been removed, and also the direction of the text have changed from inline, from block to inline. Okay, so before they were on block. On block simply means on top of each other, while this horizontal is called inline. Now you can see they are jam packed on each other. Now we need to give them space, you know, in between. Now to do that, I can easily give them margin left. So margin left, I can give them let's say 20 pixels. Margin left 20 pixels. We can change the color. Margin left 20 pixels. Let's see. Yes, I think this space is okay. The spacing is okay. Now we'll give it something like padding top to take it a little bit down. Now to do that, we need to go to the parent container and give it something like padding top to create space at the top. So padding top, let's say 20 pixels. I don't know if this is going to be, let's refresh. Yeah, I think this is cool. So yes, you can see it has created space at the top. So I think it's somehow at the middle. Right now, let's work on the link items. That is the anchor tag. We need to call the anchor tag to give it styling. Okay, to do that, let's quickly call the anchor. Now same nav menu, ULLI, then there is an anchor tag there. This is where we want to add up styling. So firstly, I need to change the color of the text. So I'll give it, it's going to, of course, every link you see on, every link you create has a default color of blue. So I need to change this to white. Okay, so I need to change this to white, which is what I've done. What I need to do, maybe the underline, I don't want the underline. I can actually remove the underline. So we can give it, let's say, text decoration. Where is it? Okay, text decoration, we can give it something like underline. Sorry, text decoration is already having the underline, so we're going to say none. Now let's save this. Sorry, I've saved. Now let's refresh this. If I refresh this, notice that the underline is gone, and also the text has changed from blue to white. Now let's add hover effect, so that when user hover on the text, it should change color. That is what hover effect does. Now to do that, I need to just open nav menu, ULLIA, then column hover. Whenever the user hover on this, the color should change. So let's change the color from, let's say, white to something like let's say yellow. It can be any color at all. I'm just using yellow now. Okay, so color from white to yellow. Then let's increase the font width. So I'm going to increase, I'll just give it bold. Then font family, I'm going to give it okay, it's on sans serif. We can use something like Tahoma. Tahoma font is also cool, so that is also change the text color. Now if I save this now, let's save and refresh to see what we have. Okay, notice that this is the hover effect is actually is actually working. So now let's work on, I think this is okay. There are lots of properties that we can still add, but I just have like 5 to 10 minutes, so based on the instruction that was given to me. So let's work on the slider, then the content area, and of course finally the footer. Then let's see, for the slider, let's see, we're going to have slider. I'll leave this because I'll be creating the slider. Then let's work on the container. The container is holding the content area and the sidebar. Okay, so let's check this out. So for the slider, let me just give the slider, let me call slider. I'm just going to give it something like width. I'll give it 100%. Okay, so the next div that is there is container, right? Container. So for the container, I'll give it a width of I'll maintain 100%. I'll maintain 100%. Then the reason why I'm giving it 100% is just to take the complete width of the whole screen. Then I'm going to divide these two divs for the content area and the side, just like we did to that of the nav menu. Okay, so the first div is actually content area, then the second div is going to be aside. So I'll just go below this. I have content area, then I have the next one is aside. Okay, so for this I'm going to give it a width of, since content area is bigger, I'll give it a width of, let's say, 70%. Then I'll give this a sidebar a width of 30%. So if you add 30% with 70, of course you're going to have the complete 100%. Alright, so now I need to float this content area to left, while that of aside, sorry, is not asider, I think it's aside. Okay, so I need to remove this R. So I'll float this to right, that is the aside. Now the background color of this is actually white. Background color is actually white. You can actually use let's say color codes, that is the color codes. If you want to use white, it could be, let's see, I'm adding white is actually FFFF. Then for the aside, the color is let's say background color. The background color I think is gray or something like that. Okay, let's check it out. I think it's gray. Yeah, it's something like ash or something. Yeah, like this, but no issues. Let's just get this done. Then the last one is the footer. Before we go to the footer, let's quickly give since I don't have content on this content area and their side, I can just give this guy, I can just give it let's something like height. I'll give it a height of, let's say, 600 pixels. Then it's just a fixed height I'm giving. We can remove it or change it later. So it's advisable to use to allow the contents to give the height itself. It's not a good practice to actually give, to give a fixed height. Now let's maintain the same height of 600 pixels. Okay, so if I save this now I'll work on the footer. Since footer doesn't have a class, I'll just call in the footer. Then I'll give it a properties of, let's see, the first property I'll give it is background color. So I'll give it a background color of black. let's give it the opacity to reduce the darkness of, let's say, 0.8 pixels. Let's give it the height of, let's say, 150 pixels. Then what can we do to this footer again? Let's see, color. Yeah, the color is actually white. That is the text color. We'll give it white. Then we can see text align should be centered. Then we can see padding top should be, let's check out what we have first. So if I refresh this page now, you can see that this area is actually for content area. This white area you're seeing here is actually for content area. Then yeah, the footer, let's check out footer height. Okay, footer, the width, I didn't assign width. Of course, we'll maintain 100%. We're going to maintain 100% for this. So if I refresh this, I think the height, I'll change it to 400. Let's see, 400 as the second one. Content area on the side, let's give it something like 400 pixels. Now let's refresh this to see what we have. Okay, so this is what we are having at the moment. Let's check this out. Our footer is there. Background color is black. Width is 100%. Height is 150 pixels. Text align center. Container, content area. Hope the spelling is correct. Content area. Sure. Aside. Then we have footer. Okay, footer. Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Okay. Background color, width 100%, footer black, opacity 0.8, height, let's see, 100, color, okay. Let's check this out now. Okay, so the footer is there, but the background color black. Background color is not taking effect. Let's see, background color, let's see, black. Why is the background color not taking effect? Background color is not taking effect. Let's check this out. Background color black. Okay, let me use the hash. Black is actually 00. Let's check this out. So if I refresh this, black is not actually working. Why? So let me add up this important. This is like to force it, actually very important. Let's see. Wow, Let me use a different browser to see. Let me use Firefox. I need to test this with a different browser to actually know what is happening. How is it taking time to load up? Footer, background color. Black. Okay, let's say green. This is serious. What is happening? Footer. Okay, let me quickly check out something. Style, background color, black. Ah, okay, so let's say this is the container, so we need to give our container a height. So let's give our container a height of let's see 600 pixels. So the container is what is housing our content area and the outside area. So let's change this background color to black. So I'll change this background color to black, width 100%, opacity 0.8, height 100 pixels. Then text align center. Then we can give it something like the text color. So give it color should be, let's see, white. Okay, so I'll save. Then let's refresh to see what we have. Alright, so you can see we have something like this. So I think the height of the container is a little bit high, but then we can, like this text now, this paragraph, let's increase the font size, that of the footer. So I can just call the footer and call the paragraph in the footer. So I can give it font size of, let's see, 20 pixels. Let's see, padding top of let's see 20 or 25 pixels. 25 pixels. Then I'll hit Ctrl X. Now let's refresh to see what we have. Something like this. I think it's cool. Okay, so I think this is cool. So the height of the content area and the sidebar need to be increased because of us to get this cleared. So let's see, we'll give this guy let's see 550, 550, same thing here, 550, 550 pixels. Now let's refresh to see what we have at the moment. Okay, so 550 to 550, 550. I think this is cool. We can, since the overall container is 600, let's decrease this to something like 5 545, 548, something like this. Let's see, just to clear the space. Yeah, I think this is cool. I think this is okay now. So now the slider, we can increase the slider. We can give a slider a height, but then we are just going to leave it from our design. Let's check out to see what we have in our design. So the background color of course is black, but then since we'll be using image slider, so let's just quickly create the image slider. Let's quickly create the image slider. So I'll be using the wow slider to quickly create the image slider. So these are the images that I need, except the logo. So I'm going to delete the logo from these images. So I'll close this and I'll double click on the wow slider. So this wow slider is what I'll be using to create the image slider. So while the wow slider is opening, let's check out our design. So we're going to have images here, and so the content area, and let's see what do we have here. Opacity, here is the footer. We can give the opacity 0.8, opacity 0.8. Refresh. Yes, I think the little whitish background is what we have, not purely black. It wasn't purely black, sorry, I used 2014. Wow, we're in 2024, not, so that I need to quickly change this. So 2024, yes. So get this done. Yes, okay, I think we are gradually bringing our site to live. So for the content area and the sidebar, let's work on the image slider. Alright, so the wow slider is here. Now we need to add up the images, so I'll click on add from a folder because I already have a folder there where the images are. So I'll just navigate to desktop and select pictures. So all the images will pop into the wow slider. So you can see I have 4 images here. So the first image here, which is slider 1, I'll clear this and just put something like welcome to NSP. So welcome to NSP, staff NSP. Welcome to NSP staff school. Welcome to NSP staff secondary school. That's the first image. So let's go to the second image. We'll give it something like we are glad you are here. So in most cases you must have sketched out and also outlined what your hero text will be. Okay, so let's go to the third image. Okay, we can give something like learners today, leaders tomorrow. Okay, so that is the third one. Then here we can give out something like education, no education, no, let's give something like what should I give here? Let's say we have education is the key to success. We believe education is the key to success. I think this is okay. So in most cases you must have outlined what you want as your hero text. So what I'll do here is let's check for different designs. I'll check out the designs that we have. Let's go with this design, but here I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change this color to green, something like this. Yeah, I think something like this is cool. So we can increase the font size here to something like, let's see, 14 is cool. So let's add more. Let's go to settings. Then I'm going to add, I'll change it from box to full width or full screen. Then yep, I think this is okay. So let's go to design. Let's check out the exact size of the images so that we can assign that same size to the image. We have 1600 by 938. 1600 by 938. So I'm going to go to, I'll change this to custom size. I'll now give it a width of 1600 by what was the size? Let's confirm the size again. 1600 by 938. Yeah, that is the size, by 938. So 938. So this is going to be 938. This is just to get the exact size of the image. So yes, so we have transition effects here. So I can pick the transition effects that I want to use. I'm going to remove this dribble. Then I'll select scan bonds. I'll go to book. I want it to rotate. Then I want it to fly in. Then what again? I think this is okay. The last option I'll pick is to allow it to slice. Now the delay in between the slides, I'll just increase it to, let's say, 2 point or 3.0. 3.2 is okay. So I'll just click on apply. I'm going to apply this. Now let's see what we have. So as you can see, it's generating our slider. Now it's going to change from box to let's say full screen. So what we can do is we can increase the font size here. We can increase the font size to something like 18. So let's see, 18. Yes, I think this is cool. So I've increased the size. So now I can just click on save to save our image slider. So I'm going to navigate to desktop. Then in our pictures, I'll just give it slider. Then I'll click on save. So as simple as this, we're able to create our image slider. Now time to add up the image slider in our web page, that is the website we're developing. So this is how the slider is going to look like. Okay, so with few steps we're going to see how to add up this slider. So this is the how to add it up. Now there are basically 3 steps that we need to follow. The first option says upload this folder to your server, then paste this code to your to the head tags. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll go to my desktop. I'll go to my yeah, this is where I need to paste it in between the head tags. So immediately after the link to our CSS, I'll paste this code there. So you can see the wow slider starts here and this is where it ends. Now let's go back to the folder. This is the picture folder. So these are the 2 files that we are being asked to copy to move them to our project folder, which is NSP Staff School. So this is where I'm to drop the files. So the engine one and the data one, this is where we are to drop the files. Okay, so as the file is copying, let's quickly check the last option, which is the code itself. That is where we want the slider to be. So just copy this code and they said paste this code to your page between the tags, that is the opening body and the closing body tag. Now in the place where you want the slider to appear. In our own case, we've already created a div that is going to house that, and this is it. So I'll just replace the div with the exact text, so what I copied. Now there are things that we would want to clear. If I click on this, I don't really need this, so I'll clear this. What again? I think this is okay. So if I save this now, then we go back to refresh our website. Let's refresh to see what we have. You can see the image slider has appeared. Wow. So in a very simple step, we're able to see how to create an image slider. Now this image slider, above this image slider, we can add up something like a border here, that is on the nav menu. We can add a border button. So let's add it up. So I need to locate, that is, this is going to have been our CSS file. So nav menu, where is the nav menu? Yeah, this is the nav menu. So I'm just going to add something like, let's see, border bottom. I'll give it 2 pixels, solid, and I'll give it white. I'll give it white color. Okay, so if I refresh this now, let's refresh our page. You notice that we're going to have okay, I think it's not on the exact position I want it to be, so let's check it out. Not on, where did I add it up? Okay, I added it in nav menu. Not really nav menu, it's supposed to be in nav bar. So I'll cut this. This is where it's supposed to be, nav bar. Okay, Control S. Now let's refresh this now. Yes, so this is how I actually wanted it. This is how I want it. Alright, so you can see this is just a very simple page. So so this content area, this is where the content of the website is going to be. So let's work on this. But we were able to, you know, at least as of now, we're able to design what we have on our prototype. Okay, so the content area, this is where the content of the website is going to be. Then while for the aside, this is where we're going to have the content of the aside. Now let's check this out. In the aside area, let's see, aside we can have something like the mission and vision. let's see, we have something like h. Let's use let's see, history tag. We can have something like um our vision, then here we can just put random text, our vision, then we just close the tag. Can just close the tag. While here this is for vision, then we can have the second one, which is history, of course, our mission. So of course the same mission is going to have, let's see, history, sorry, we're going to have a paragraph. Okay, so here we're going to have a dummy text. We have a dummy text. Let's say this is going to be our vision, our mission, while this one is going to be our vision. Okay, so let's say before the next heading we're going to have something like horizontal rule to separate that. So if I refresh this page now, you can see we have something very simple. So don't worry, we'll use CSS, so we can use CSS to work on this. And then for the content area, yes, for the content area, let's add up let's say a welcome message. We're going to add up something like a welcome message. So let's see, for the content area, let's have something like content area, let's give it we'll start with the let's see, h2 tag. We're using h2 tag. We'll just put something like NSP staff school. So below it we're going to have a dummy text. That changes to paragraph. Of course it's going to be a very long one, so open another text. To change this, yep. So if I save this now, let's refresh to see what we have at the moment. So this is what we have at the moment. Okay, so we can work. This is going to be very easy if you're using Bootstrap, but I decided not to use Bootstrap. I decided to use pure HTML and CSS for you to see how this is being done. This is actually the hard method or the hard way of designing sites. So but if you're using Bootstrap, it's just to call the class, and you assign the number of columns that you need. Of course it's going to be of 12 columns. Bootstrap has 12 columns, column 1 to 12. So if you need, like, let's say 2 columns, all you need to do is divide the 12 by 2. You're going to have 6. So each column you just assign a class of call dash, let's say 6, and here also call that 6 is going to give you 2 equal columns. But then since we're using CSS to actually, we're using HTML and CSS to actually develop this. Okay, so for the content area, let's work on the styling. We still need to work on the styling. So like the h2 tag, let's say we want to take it to the middle, or we want to have some padding by the left hand side and the right hand side. Then also increase and also change the font family and color. Now let's go to our CSS. So where we have content area, let's start with the content area. So content area, there is h2 there, so we'll select the h2. So let's change the, let's say, color. First of all, we'll change the color to, let's see, green. Then we'll change what again, let's see, font family to Tahoma. Then let's see, font width, yes, font width to bold. Font size to, let's see, 25 pixels. Okay, so we're going to, on the content area, let's give it padding. So I'm going to give it padding left of, let's see, 30 pixels. Padding left of 30 pixels. Padding right of 30 pixels. Padding top of, let's see, 20 pixels. Then for the aside, the text for this aside, let's see, for the aside we have h3. There is h3 there, so the color should be, let's check out let's see, color, I think we'll maintain white. Color will be white. Then for the aside content, let's give it something like color white. So we're going to also give it padding. Will give it let's take care of padding left. Let's say padding left, let's see, 10 pixels. Padding right, let's see, 10 pixels. Then padding top of, let's see, 20 pixels. Okay, so now let's save to see what we have at the moment. So if I refresh this, wow, the padding is too much. That is the reason why, you know, it has jumped out, because the exact calculation was I think for the content area I will give it 70. So we can give it something like content areas, let's say 69. It should be able to fit in now. We still have a little adjustment that will need to be made. So 60, let's say 68. Let's check this out. Still okay. I think the padding is too much. We definitely need to reduce the padding. So aside, we said padding right, padding left. Let's give it something like 5 pixels. Let's give this one 5 pixels. That is 10 pixels in total. So let's see how this will reflect. Wow. Okay, let's clear the padding to see how this is going to look like. Let me clear this. So if I save, okay, I think padding left, padding right. Let's see, let's clear this. So if I save this, let's refresh. Okay, I think we have everything back. Alright, so let's work on the padding now. To actually work on this padding, we need to first of all take this guy to take this to, let's say 60, let's give it 68. Then we'll now see padding of let's see 5 pixels. Padding left 5 pixels, padding right 5 pixels. So let's see if we still maintain the same position. Yeah, so I think this work. So we can increase the padding on left to, let's say 10. Now let's see how this is going to view it. Yeah, I think this is cool. This is okay. All right, so yes, so let's work on this sidebar. So we can also work on the sidebar too. Aside. So let's give this aside something like padding left of, let's see 5 pixels, padding right of 5 pixels. Now let's give it padding top of let's see 10 pixels, but then we need to reduce this to, let's say 28%. okay, that is to allow the whole thing to fit in. So as you can see, this is cool. So for the our vision and mission, we need to move them to the middle. So I'll take this to the center. So just come to where we have a side history. So just give it text align center. So this is going to take our text to the middle. If I refresh this now, you notice that it has moved to the middle. So okay, so I think our site is, gradually coming. All right, so we can add up other sections here. So we can add up other sections, at the bottom of this text. Maybe we'll just add up a button. After the text, we'll just link it up. Let's see, after this we can just have an anchor tag here. We'll just link it to about.html. Of course, this page is not available yet, but then we need to allow the user to, in case you want to like read more, so just give it something like read more. This will redirect the users to about us page. Okay, so read more in case the user wants to read more about this school. So they'll just click on read more, then it will take them to the about us page. Of course, this has not been created yet, but is a very simple task. Now to do this, let's link these pages. So quickly do that. We'll go back to our nav menus. So where we have hash, I'm just going to leave this as index.html. Then for the about, we're going to give it about.html. Then the last one, which is the contact, is going to be contact.html. Then the last one is going to be gallery.html. okay, so alright, so I've successfully linked up these pages. Now we want to maintain this design in every of our pages. Okay, so we want to maintain this exact design on every of our pages, like the home, the about. The only difference is that it's only the home that is going to have this image slider. So every other pages like contact us, about us, and gallery, they're going to have just let's say the hero section, but then it's just going to be a background image with the text or a fixed background image. Okay, so to achieve that, we could easily go back to the source code and just, let's say, save this page as. So I'm going to save this as. I'll replicate this page instead of building the same page from scratch. So I'll just change this page to about.html. So I'm going to save this. So this is the about us. So here we can either change this title to about NSP Staff School. So about NSP Staff School, then so here we can change it to about us. Okay, so in the about us page, we're going to remove the read more button, the read more link. So I'll remove this. So I'll save, so that if I refresh this now, and if I refresh this and I click on about, you can see that it's going to link us to a different page, which is the about us. Okay, all right, so let's go back to the home page. So this is the home page, NSP Staff School. We could add up something like let's check this, where we have the index page. Let's go back to the index page. So where we have this content, let's add up something like let's see, marquee. I'm going to add up a marquee tag. So I can just say welcome to NSP. NSP stands for North South Power Staff School Shiruru. Okay, so we'll just use this Ctrl C to, we'll just use it to initialize this paragraph, something like this. So if I refresh this page now, yeah, so we have something like this. Okay, mind you, this is just HTML and CSS from scratch. Okay, we're building this site with purely HTML and CSS. Now we can easily change this to, let's say we'll put it in a tag. We're going to put it in let's say history tag, so that I'll call this in my CSS content area h3. So there is something here. I want to first of all give it a width of let's say 50%. Sorry, width of 50%. I'll give it a margin of auto simply means it should align it to the middle. Okay, so let's see, the color should be let's say green. Then the font size of this text should be, let's say, 20 pixels. So if I save this now and refresh, let's see what we have. Yeah, so we have something like this. Welcome to NSP Staff School Shiruru. Yeah, okay, I think this is cool. Alright, um so to maintain these, okay, so let's work on the contacts. So for the contacts, I'll just need to save this about us page. Now I'll click on save as, go to file, click on save as, then I'll name this guy I'm going to name this page contact.html. Then I'll save this page. So I'll have to change this to, let's say, the title to contact us, NSP, and just cut this, then we take it to here, contact us. I think this is okay. So what do we need to do here is just to change this to contact us. Alright, so you can give your, we can outline the contact details here, or we can just create a very simple contact form that, you know, is going to ask users to maybe enter their name, their phone number, their emails, their email ID. Then of course they'll click on submit, and that information will be sent to them. So it depends on what we can use. Okay, any of them is actually acceptable. So let me use that of the contact. Since this is just a demo, I'm going to use, I'll just create a very simple form. So here I'll just create a form. So I'm just going to create a form. Before this form, let me just create a section. Inside this section, I'm going to have a form tag. Then of course the form is going to have a label. So I'll just say name. Then the name, I'm going to use inputs. The type is going to be text. Then the name of this lab input is going to be let's say name. I will maintain name. So we can just give to BR to create space at the bottom. So instead of typing same thing, I'll just make the whole thing very easy to copy and paste, just and make changes. So name, we have phone, we have name, we have phone. Then the next one is going to be email. So here is going to be email. Okay, so for phone we can leave it as text. Then for email, of course, the type is going to be email. Okay, so here is going to be phone. Then the other side for email is going to be email. Now let me quickly explain this form. Now the label, of course, is going to hold the name, that is the text that users will see. Then for the inputs, we have different types of input. Okay, so for a user to enter his name, of course, he's going to enter text and characters. Okay, so the type of that info is called text. We use text to receive that. So the name here is, if you want to use PHP maybe for validation or JavaScript, so we need to assign a name to every input, so that to call it whenever we want to make any validation. Okay, so for the name, since we are collecting name, we will still use name. So sometimes you might want to collect only first name, So here will be like first name, then here you should also give it a name that will tally with the label. Okay, so for this, for the second one, the input type is still text, and most people might think maybe since it's phone number and phone numbers are numbers, right, they might want to use maybe numbers, of course. So for in a form design, you actually use text because you have some users that might want to enter their country code before they type in their phone numbers. So in situations like that, if you use numbers for that, the number type is not going to accept the characters or the symbols like +234, for example, for is a Nigerian code. So if I use text as a type, of course it's going to accept those characters, then followed by the numbers. So of course the name here also is phone, just a clear identification that this name is actually for this level. Okay, so when doing validation using in PHP or JavaScript, you can, this is what we will be using to reflect to this input field. Then for the email, of course, the name is, the type is email, then the name is also email. So if you want to receive email, of course we use email in order to prompt users to enter an email, that is, it prompts them to enter that @ symbol at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, that @ symbol. If that @ symbol is missing, of course it will not allow them to submit the form. That is just a little bit validation form. So now we can add up something like placeholder, let's see, just to guide the user. So we just tell the user to enter name. Then for the phone, we can just add a placeholder, something like enter phone number. Okay, this is just to guide the user. Then another one is placeholder, we can see enter a valid email. So enter a valid email. Okay, so so this section, all right, so one last thing we need to add up is the button. So I'm going to use input. This button, let's add it in a div. So in this div, I'm going to have I'll add it up. I'll use input. It can be button, but then we can use input. The type is going to be submit, then the name is going to be submit. So during validation, this is the name we'll be calling. Then the value, that is what users will see on the page, is going to be submit now, or message now, or contact now. So this is what users will see. Okay, so if I save this now, okay, I need to let's give, there are some properties that we need to assign to this form tag. So for these, we have the first one, which is method. So method, there are two types of method. We have post and also get. So in most cases we will be using post. Then the action is going to be like, where is this script going to be located? The script that is going to execute whenever the user clicks on the submit button, where is this script going to be located? So of course we're not going to be using PHP because this is going to be a little bit advanced, but then I'm going to, let's assume the PHP script will be on this same page. So I'm going to maintain the name of this page, contact.html. So it means the script that is going to run this form, that is going to submit this form whenever the user clicks on the button, is going to be on this same page. Okay, so one last thing I need to do is to add up a class for this section. So I'll name it contact. So that is the name of this section, contact. So let's save to see what we have at the moment. So I'll refresh this page now. So this is the index page. This is what we've done so far. Okay, so let's click on the about. This is the about us page. Now let's go to the contact. Now if I click on the contact, notice what happens. So you can see this is the contact us page. Now let's work on the form itself, the form that we just created. Okay, so we need to give it some styling, then we'll see how beautiful it will become. Now okay, so I'll have given it a class of contact. That is the complete section. I gave the complete section a class of contact. So let's go to the style. So here I'm just going to call that contacts. That is the section. So let's give the width of let's say 60%. Let's give the width of 60%. I'll give it the margin of auto, then I'll give it let's say background color of, let's say, gray. Then let's see what I want to give it again. Let's save first to see what we have. Okay, now I need to give it padding. Let's give it padding and let's give it height. Since we have width, we're going to give it height of let's see 200 pixels. Margin auto, great. So let's see, yeah, padding. We'll give it padding of let's see 30 pixels. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we can actually move this contacts to we can move the contacts to, let's move the contacts to this what's it called, inside the section, into that section. So let's see, we have contacts, we have padding. Why not give it something like 50? Then yes, so let's go to the contact. Now this is the text they want us to pick. Control X, so add up everything here. So we can just say something like feel free to get in touch with us today. Okay, so I'll save this. Now this text is actually going to, we want to change this contact us to white, so H2 in contact section. So I have contact and I have H2. I need to change this color to white, for example. So I'll save, then I'll refresh to see what we have at the moment. Wow, something like that. Okay, so I need to still work on, let's say we need to work on the labels and also the inputs, but I think the margin top is a little bit high. Margin top for the contacts, I give it 50 pixels. You can give it something like 20 pixels. Now let's work on the label. So see label, label, the label is inside contact. So contact label, so we can give it font size of, let's say, 20 or 18 pixels. Then the text color should be, what's the text color we can use here? Let's see, white. Sorry, so color, we have white. So we have input again, contacts, then we have the input. So input, we have size, we can change the size. Let's see, color, whenever the user is typing, it should be green. Okay, so there are lots of properties we can add to this. So let's see. Yeah, you can see this has changed to white. So padding top, padding bottom. So the form itself, we can move everything to the middle. Let's see, for the form, contacts, we can just see text align center. Let's see what we have here. If I refresh this now, you can see everything has moved to the middle. Now we can let's check out the height of this contact. The height is 200. Let's give it something like 4. Where's the parent container? 550. Okay, we can give it something like 400. Then we refresh. Let's see, I think this is better. So this is just, this shows you how to, you can see that the color is, is green. Now we can increase the font size of that particular input. So the color is green. Level, let's give it something like 25 pixels. Then for the input, we can give it font size, font family, let's say sans serif. Then size, font size of, let's say 18 pixels, 18 or 20 pixels. Let's give it something like, okay, let's just leave it on this, so we can refresh to see what we have. So you can see this is very easy. Okay, so this is the button. Now we can work on this button if we still need to. So for the button, we just need to let's check the contact. This button is actually an input. Now let's work on the button. Let's give it a class of, let's say, button. If we were using let's say Bootstrap, it would have been easy to just give it Bootstrap properties, but then everything is HTML and CSS, so we have to code it ourselves. So let's say button, we have contacts. In contact, so we have sorry, we can use button, we can just call it straight up from here. So let's see, background color, we'll give it something like green. Then color, we'll use white. We can give it a width of let's see, width, let's say 50 for now. Then border radius, we can give it something like let's see 20 pixels. Now let's see how this will look like. Okay, button, class of button. Okay, all right. So yeah, I think the background color is what is really taking effect, but then that is not what we want. So what exactly do we want? I think this class, we need to cut it from here, then we'll just give it to the input tag itself. So it's supposed to be here, so I'll save this. Now let's refresh to see. We only want it to take effect on the button. Yes, something like this. So but then so let's see, we want something like this. So button, class is button, then where is the style? Button, background color is green, border radius is we can give it something like 5 pixels. Color, can make it important, background color green. Font size of 20 pixels. Now let's refresh this, something like that, something like this, yes. So something like this, I think this is cool. So we can also work on the hover effect if you want to. You can give it something like button hover. It means whenever the user hover on the button, we can change the background color to let's see background color to, let's see, blue, and the text will maintain white, but font size will increase from 20 to, let's say, 25 pixels. Then the border radius will also change from 5 to, let's say, 10 pixels, something like this. So if I save this and I go back to refresh the page, if I refresh this now, look at what we have. So once we hover, it changes from green to, yeah, we can give it something like padding. Let's give it something like padding to have space in between. Okay, so we can give it padding of, let's see, 5 pixels to get it spaced in between. So if I refresh this now, you can see we now have space in between, something like this. Okay, so if I click on submit, of course nothing happens because there is no PHP script, on this. All right, so contact us, we can actually change this button. We have contact h2, right? This is it. So let me just increase the font size to, let's say, 25 pixels, so that if I refresh this page now, 25 cancel. Let me just refresh. So contact us, yes. So this is the contact us page that we have. This is the contact page that we've designed. Now the last one is the gallery. Okay, so let's quickly create the gallery. So for gallery, I'll just replicate this. Let's go to the index. So I'll just, or the about, so I'll just replicate this page, save as, then I'll just name it gallery.html. Okay, so this is going to be gallery. So gallery, okay. Now you just left for us to add up the images. Now to add up the images, we are just going to, let us change this to something like our gallery. Okay, so I'll clear this text. I'm going to clear this text that we have here. In this gallery, what we use to achieve this is going to, I'll just create a section. I'll keep it simple by using an unordered list. In this unordered list, we're going to have list items. Now in this list items, we are going to have the different images. Okay, so I'll be using the images that we used, we use for the slider. So I'm going to call them one after the other. Slider 1. So I'll just replicate this. 2, 3, 4. So slider 1, the second one is going to be 2, third one is going to be 3, and the fourth one is going to be 4. So but then I need to pick up those images and add them to the file directory. So I need to add them here. So I need to pick up all the images. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just copy them. I'll take them to the project folder. We can just create a folder here and name it images. So I'll name it images. So this is where all the images will be. Ctrl V. Okay, so the images are in a folder called so images. Slider 1 have images. Slider 2 have images. Slider 3 then have images. Slider 4. Okay, so this is just a very simple way to create a gallery. So if I save this now and refresh, let's see what we are going to have in our gallery. So the images, we need to change, we need to check the format. We need to check the format of these images. So we need to confirm whether they are PNG files or, yeah, this one is PNG, 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 and the last one also is PNG. So we need to give the file the extension here. So we're going to have .png. The next one too is going to have .png. The next one is also going to have .png. Then of course the last one we're going to add up .png. Then we'll save, and also we are going to refresh to see what we have. Okay, so you can see these are the images that we have. Okay, they are appearing too big, but then we need to work on the CSS to get this fixed. So to do that, we created a section for it. So I'll just call this, I'll give it a class of gallery. So this class, we're going to call it in our CSS. So I'll go to my CSS. Okay, so here I'm going to call the gallery. In the gallery we have img files, that is the images. So I'll give it width. Width is going to be let's see, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 images. So let's say width, I'll give it something like 50 pixels. Then height of, let's see, Nope. 100 pixels. 100 by 100. 100 by 100. Before these, I think we need to work on, let's first of all check the gallery. So section, gallery, okay, they are inside UL tags. Okay, so we need to work on the UL tags, ULLI tags. So gallery, we have gallery ULLI. Okay, ULLI. So I'm going to say list style, I'll give it none to remove the bulletins. So I'll say display, I'll give it inline to make them appear horizontally. Then what I need to do again is margin left. We're going to assign let's say 20 pixels to them. So let's save to see what we have at the moment. So if I refresh this now, yes, you can see this is what we have. Now this gallery, it means we can still add up or just increase the size. So we can increase the size of the images. We can give them something like 400 by, let's say 400 pixels. Let's see what we are going to have. If it is too big, then we'll reduce them. If they are too big, we're going to reduce them. Of course, this is too big, so we can reduce them to let's say 200 by 200. Width and height both are going to be 200. Let's see how they will look like. Okay, this is also how do we see this? This might be cool, but then we can, okay, let's increase the width to, let's say 250 and the height 220. Let's refresh. So what do we have? Yeah, I think this is cool. So this is our gallery, but then the H2 that we have there in our gallery, we need to move it to the middle. So gallery H2, gallery H2, gallery. So this gallery H2, we need to take it to the middle. Text align center. So refresh this. It's not going to the middle. We need to make it important. Gallery H2, text align center. We need to make it important. So I'll refresh this. Okay, I think it's not in the gallery. It's not there. Yeah, it needs to be in the gallery section. So Control X. It's supposed to be here. So I'll save, then refresh our page. Yes, so this is what we have. So we can easily add up. We can easily copy and paste these images. Control C. So let's refresh. I will see what we have. Okay, yes, I think this is cool. So this is our gallery. If you want to link them up, you can actually add up a link, so that when users come here and they click, it's going to give them more information about your picture, the images that we have in the gallery. Okay, So this is cool. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now let's quickly clear this is our gallery page. Now we can easily clear up the slider because we don't need them in every of our pages, so we can just clear this up. So this is the slider. We'll clear the slider area. So I'll save this, then we'll do same to about the about us. So for the about us, since we're not using this wow slider, we'll clear the text, the script that came with it. So for the wow slider, we'll just clear the hero text and the content. So clear this up. So this is that. Then let's go to contact. So for contact too, let's clear up the wow slider content. Alright, so we can save. So let's now view what we have. So if I refresh this page now, yep, so we have something like this. So if I click on home, this is our home page. You can see this is our home page. Now about, this is our about us page. Then contact, this is our contact page. Then gallery, this is our gallery page. Okay, so you can see how simple it is to develop this. Now let's change, let's add up something like about, let's add up something like about us, contact us, then gallery. Okay, so we're going to change this up. This is the contact us page, so we don't need this in our head tag. So save. Let's do same to about, the about us page. So add up the about us. So we have contact us, then of course the gallery. Now let's go to the gallery and clear this in our head tag. Ctrl S to save. Now let's add up the us, contact us too. So we can hit on Ctrl S to save. Now if I refresh this page now, yeah, so we have home, about, contact, gallery. So let's go to home. This is our home. This is our home page. This is where the slider is. Welcome to NSP Staff Secondary School. Okay, welcome to NSP Staff Secondary School. Now it's going to take up to like, yeah, you can see it has moved, I think 3.2 seconds to move. Learners today, leaders tomorrow. Wow, this is a very beautiful image slider. Then education is key to success. Yeah, so this is how easy it is to design a very simple page like this. This is actually for using HTML and CSS, but when using Bootstrap, of course, it's going to be a little bit easier than what we did. Okay, so we have gallery. Okay, so I believe we're able to achieve what we wanted. Now let's compare this. So this is the prototype that we followed. This is the prototype that I designed using Macromedia Fireworks. I first of all designed this. Every web page you're working on, every website you're working on, you need to first of all design how you want your website to look like. Maybe you can sketch it out on paper, or you use Figma to design your prototype. That is why we have UX and UI designers. Okay, so the job is just to design this, so the programmer will follow whatever prototype has been designed for him to bring it out, and into reality, just like what we have here. So that is it for now. I think I have actually come to the end of this video. So I hope this video um, was helpful to you. All right, so bye for now.